Norless is something that I would imagine just about any support would be able to pull
Yeah.
out. So no real curveballs so far.
Right.
As Caitlyn's going to be thrown into the bin. I think personal favorite of Fuse, so not going to be getting his hands on that this time around.
Especially good early and late, even though it has that mid lane kind of trough, and we see Kled being taken off the table away from Wufo. Is that how you pronounce the name, Wufo?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Yeah,
Wufo.
Wufo. Yeah, Wufo. Taken away from Wufo as well, so not exactly a Dino Ricard, but good to see that pick taken away since it's seen a resurgence in the meta with the buff to its Grievous Wounds.
Yeah, and Kled right now is so strong into so many matchups. There's not really many things at the moment that do too well into it in the laning phase. Like Fiora is probably one of the only consistent champions that's capable of dealing with it, but then you have Fiora on your team if you picked it. So
yeah, she's not exactly meta
problem.
at the moment. And we will point out that Absolved still actually yet to break their first Nexus. They do have a win on the board, but it did result from a DQ against NSG. So they are going to start feeling pretty thirsty. We did see Mythos manage to break their loss streak today as well. Absolved sitting pretty even with them, but in essence, not really beating them.
yeah, and Annie, probably a placeholder. I would imagine that's going to be something like Jarvan. I know Marwa is very fond of that champion. So you'll have to wait for confirmation on the placeholder.
Like wonder pick. Fancy themselves a bit of a G2.
Yeah, looking at some G2 games, maybe a little bit of inspiration there, but
Annie,
hold on to that.
Annie is the Karma pick.
yeah,
Annie's Karma, alright.
Yeah.
good
Ezreal
first
gonna
pick.
be the
A lot of
response here.
flexibility within that as well.
So we'll have to wait and see where that Karma ends up going. Doesn't sound like a
want to
Wofo
see it
champion to
go.
me.
Yeah. So
if I-
Iroh, Buzzy.
If I'm looking at the LionsCreed lineup this time, I'm wanting that to go on Buzzy. I think it's pretty good with what KZ and Buzzy would probably like to achieve from the bot lane. I don't think you really want to put a Hero or Wufo on a champion like Karma, but we'll have to wait and see where the draft goes, as Elise is going to be locked in by Gecko.
Yeah, I think we will expect the solo laners from the side of LionsCreed to be the strongest here. They have I was speaking to you earlier, Yamada noted their strong mechanics within the game, so you will hope to see them on more hypercarry sort of plays.
Which is not exactly a Karma pick, so.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm expecting higher mechanical skill champions on these solo lanes, but it's actually going to be Pyke that's locked in here with the Karma.
And
So
Aatrox.
and Aatrox, so speaks to me that perhaps we're actually going to see Karma and Pyke bot lane. Is something that I believe, I want to say, Reckless and Hilly.
Reckless and Hylissang did play it, yeah.
Yes, so Karma just gives the automatic shove in most bot lane matchups, and when you see Ezreal there, Ezreal with just about any support probably won't be able to match the push of a Karma. So it's going to give this Pyke a lot of free reign to move up the river and actually attack the mid lane and remove the jungler. So we'll have to wait and see. Renekton is going to be the third lock-in for Absolved. which
Very
is
strong.
outside of the map, really going to be scary.
Yeah, very strong blind pick, but he has picked it into the Aatrox. Must be very confident within that matchup. Maybe quite a bit of comfort towards him. First time we haven't seen the Aatrox Camille matchup tonight, so it'll be nice to see something a little bit different in that top lane.
Finally, a little bit of diversity, just like the cast. I'm kidding.
Hey, feeling all the quotas.
Feeling all the quotas today. But yeah, no, Camille isn't going to be the response to the Aatrox today. This game, we're going to have the Renekton. Probably going to have it moved into the Aatrox lane regardless of what the final solo lanes are. Yuumi taking off the board as well as Vel'Koz. Definitely one interesting ban out of those two. Yuumi a little more standard.
Yeah, Yumi's the more standard one. You don't want to get that cat thrown in your face, especially since the heals, it's just mind-boggling sometimes how strong the healing is. But the Vel'Koz, is that a bit of a pocket pick for Buzzy or something?
I would imagine that's maybe something that Hero plays. If you're looking at this draw, I would hope that you're expecting the Karma flex. So you're still kind of targeting mid laners, as Yasuo is the second ban, so that's sort of maybe a loose indicator that that's what's going on, as Fresh is going to be taken away from Rescue.
Really don't like those hook champions. Ban away the Nautilus, ban away the Thresh. Blitzcrank maybe, that's another hook champion that can come in.
Where would you expect Absolved to be trying to punish LionsCreed then? They're fighting quite an uphill battle here, not really expected to come out with the win, but where do you think that they could get some advantages?
Well, if the draft so far is anything to go by, as Rakan is actually the support that's locked in, most likely one of these solo lanes. You've got Elise. Elise likes to play around the solo lanes. Right now you've got Renekton, so wherever Renekton goes, the Elise will likely follow, and it's some kind of tower dive. Ezreal Rakan's not really going to offer you too much unless the bot lane is just absolutely overextending. So...
Yeah, a lot of early game strength with the Renekton and the Elise.
Yeah,
but it allows for the rotations to be made by the Rakan if they want to pressure towards mid lane because they have the Ezreal. So do you think that they might pick up something that is very early game focused for Voidter?
I mean, Azir still up. I believe he's defaulted to it on more than one occasion. I could be wrong in saying that. But Azir would be something that gives them one additional scaling option with this really powerful side lane. As yes, we get more to look in.
Oh, is this something that's been prepped? Is this some insider info? You seem very excited.
No, I'm really excited because I didn't know this was coming either. Mordekaiser are going to be the final lock-in here, as well as Talia. I don't think that Talia is actually a proxy pick. I think that's probably going into the hands of Marwa.
Well, production hasn't told us anything about any other proxy picks just yet, so it looks like it will be the Karma Pike bot lane, Talia mid, Mordekaiser top. So that means Aatrox jungle, or is it Mord jungle?
I would expect the Aatrox to be top lane, Mord mid maybe, but those two can be switched around. Hero could play either. Same with Mordekaiser, I assume.
And just to point out that last pick from Absolved, Absolved there, that was Syndra. So they're really, really looking to punish these solo lanes early with these really strong early to mid game champions in Renekton and Syndra, with Elise to back up for tower dives. So Hero and Wufo here are going to have to be really, really wary of these kind of things popping up. As we don't quite know what the jungle matchup is yet. It's going to be hard to say until we actually see what gets locked in. But either way, it's going to be pretty hard for, I believe the choice is Mordekaiser and Aatrox going into the jungle to really match.
They could put Talia jungle if they wanted.
Oh yeah, they did have the Talia, so maybe the Talia is what's going to end up going jungle. We just don't know yet.
It's a triple flex.
So, gonna be exciting to see where they end up putting these champions.
Where would you like to see them go?
I think Aatrox top, or Aatrox. Actually, I don't know. Actually, solo lane is either way. I'd expect to see Talia in the jungle.
So yeah, I'm more thinking that Talia ends up jungle here, and you kind of have to put Aatrox top. I'm not too sure about how Mordekaiser into Renekton is, but it doesn't sound too fantastic.
Especially early, anyway.
Yeah, I'm not too versed on the matchup, so we'll have to see how it does actually play out. But Wufo's the one that's hovering it right now.
Yeah,
so
he's gone for it. I mean,
Wufo's
they
the one that
could.
locks it.
I think they could still swap later on if they wanted to. Maybe they're just playing a few mind games, but Mordekaiser top into the Renekton. I will expect to see the Renekton pop through with that. With the shield breaker that came into Renekton's kit recently, he's really able to punish the Mordekaiser when that comes up. You know, you see Mordekaiser bringing up these 300, 400 shields. Renekton's going to be able to melt through that.
Death by Lollipops was the one that locked in Syndra.
Now that's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Syndra top lane?
That's really interesting. So
Just
you're
a
seeing this. You're seeing this adaptation a lot recently, when some kind of bruiser gets locked in top, and red side 5th pick is picking something like a Azir or Syndra, or in some cases Corki too, just to kind of nullify that melee lane and sort of take away its power whilst giving a little bit of free scaling over. So this is going to be interesting to see how hard they can actually punish this Mordekaiser. To be totally honest, I'm actually kind of caught unawares. I didn't expect the Syndra to end up going top lane.
No, me neither.
It's
Maybe
very unusual.
maybe it's just a case of them swapping the laners. So maybe, I don't know, Void Terror is just really comfortable on Renekton, or maybe like Death by Lollipops is just a big Syndra player or something. Maybe they're just happy to swap things out there, or they're just trying to mimic whatever lanes. I can imagine they want to just try and get the lanes they want, so they'll try and scope out early, see where LionsCreed are ending up, and maybe try and push the lanes in their favor that way.
So let's see. We'll have to, we're just gonna have to wait until we get into game. But I would actually like to see the Syndra go top. I think there's a lot of room to punish something like a Mordekaiser pick. And again, Talia. Talia's one of these champions where she can match early aggression, but she's not probably the best pick you could have for it. So
Interesting to see KZ on the Karma, definitely feeling the pressure lifted off of his shoulders with the upgrades he's received in his solo laners and now his jungler as well. So he's happy to pick up a little bit more of an assist sort of player, not having to be the hard carry that he has been in the previous weeks for them.
yeah, no, I agree. KZ is definitely somebody that can pick up these hyper carries and just carry a game post 25 minutes for your team. But when you've got solo laners like this, I guess the onus has been placed on Hero and Woofo to carry the game and just let KZ sit on these champions where he doesn't really have to do much.
Yeah, not sure what's happened there with them dodging again.
Rescue has DC'd, so they just went back to the lobby.
Okay.
Unfortunate.
I think they could have let it go through and then just paused it, but we're just gonna have to go through, pick a ban once again. 3rd time's the charm.
One more time, boys.
Once he comes back into the game.
I've completely.
What do you think of the respective? What do you think of the respective lineups?
Draft or players?
Drafts, yes.
So
draft. That's the word I was looking for.
Drafts, I actually think Absolved have way more agency early on, especially on the top side of the map. You can just kind of see the way the draft was finalized. Ezreal or Khan, you're probably not going to be playing around in Ezreal or Khan lane. You've got Elise, you've got Renekton, you've got Syndra. You're going to be looking to punish these solo lanes, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Top side of the map is extremely strong for LionsCreed, and they will naturally just get ahead, so they're just trying to shut it down early. So, gonna have to wait and see how it does play out. With Karma being able to shove in bot lane probably so freely that Pyke kind of just moves up the river whenever he pleases to alleviate any kind of pressure from the release. So there's a lot of action. I'm surprised there's a lot of avenues here for Absolved to definitely attack the LionsCreed draft.
So how do you feel really wins from the draft alone?
Just from the draft.
Not on strength of roster or anything, just purely from the draft.
I would actually favor Absolved here in a pre-25 minute game. If they can close the game out with like Baron maybe, but after that it might start to get hard. But saying this, LionsCreed doesn't really have a comp that scales too hard either.
Yeah.
So I'm actually kind of expecting a relatively bloody game. I don't know, I'm excited. These drafts are pretty unique.
They're a bit weird.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the replication of the Karma and Pyke bot lane, though.
Yeah, we are just going to cut to a break while we wait for to get a bit of an update on the player situation. So catch us in a little bit where hopefully we'll get this game underway.
All right.
We are back now for our third game of the day. It is LionsCreed versus Absolved, and hopefully it's going to be a barn burner of a game.
Yeah, pretty excited to see how this game goes. Very interesting draft.
And it's not Syndra top lane.
And yes, we have been pranked. It isn't going to be Syndra top. It is actually going to be in the hands of Void Terror. He's going to be taking it into Heroes Aatrox. So no exciting Aatrox, no exciting Syndra bullying Mordekaiser lane, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately. But hopefully he can bully Hero in that middle lane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I will expect that top matchup to go really heavily in the way of Renekton, like we said earlier. He has the Elise to back him up as well. A lot of early pressure I will expect to be in that top side. If they can take advantage of those picks in the early game really well, that'll be a great avenue for Absolved to get in there and try and create a stir.
Yeah, LionsCreed more likely to play around this this bot lane here and just give Pyke free roam up into the mid lane and pressure this Syndra, so she's not so freely able to bully out the Aatrox. But on the opposite side of the map, Marwa's got to be incredibly careful. He does not win either of these 2v2s in either of the solo lanes, so expect him to sort of be around there very, very infrequently. More likely to just give cover to this bot lane, make sure that the Elise on any occasion actually manages to sneak down there and get a gank.
Go for something here?
Looking like a small late invade by Absolved.
It's kind of a half invade. They're
just
kind
gonna
of
place a
maybe
ward on the Raptor camp. Yeah, just
I mean,
the idea.
With Ezreal, with the Klepto, you will want to be going in there just to pick up the little pieces of gold that you can get. Any sort of advantage is good, but nothing comes of it. Pop a ward down just to know where Talia is. They will spot her on that Raptor camp if she goes for it. She's just moving up into her blue side. Actually, I don't know. It must have spotted her, but it's very close.
I actually think because of how she hugged the wall, she didn't quite get spotted out. There weren't any pings, so gonna be hard to say, but jungle pathing early actually going to be towards the top lane from this Talia. Jungle pathing on Talia, definitely kind of unique as a champion that can't really clear too well early. So a lot of the time you'll actually see a red into straight level 2 gank or just a full side red side clear just to get her off the ground. But actually opting for a more standard clear at the moment, just hitting the blue buff. As Elise, definitely a standard clear, blue to red, finishing up the Krugs now, so probably looking to attack this top side of the map. Or at least secure the top side skull with the priority she's going to have in the solo lanes.
Yeah, Talia being able to shadow the Mordekaiser as well in this early game with the Elise and Renekton, definitely going to be making Woof feel much better in this lane.
Yeah, most definitely. Still, I mean, if you're looking at the health bar of Marwa right now, Talia is a champion that gets very, very low on her early jungle clear, so she won't actually be able to match a gank, because Void Terror is also moving up towards this top side priority. Gonna put a ward onto blue and spoil the Talia.
Get something on the Marwa here.
Looking at the minimap for this, but ooh.
We're not gonna get a look at it though. We're just gonna
looking
at the bot lane.
Looking at the bot lane, but off screen Marwa is actually forced to flash. No follow flash from Gecko. So directed camera pulling a little bit of a prank on us, but this is exactly why I mentioned early on. Elise gonna be looking to threaten these tower dives. As it's gonna retreat now back to the top lane skull.
It was a nice move over from Void Terror to get the vision down that facilitated the burning of the flash from Marwa.
Yeah, definitely. And it is a real surprise to me that Marwa actually opts for this jungle path, knowing that he won't actually have priority in either of these solo lanes. More likely to have control around the bot side. So
coming in mid.
Yeah, from both junglers, Marwa off to the side, but they have the health advantage. That's a nice seismic shove. Force the flash away, flashes forward as well. Out comes the repel. Can Hero go down here? Doesn't have the ultimate because he's only level 4. That's a Jack of Blade a couple of times, and no one will go down in the middle lane, but flash is burned on both sides.
Yeah, no deaths there. Pretty surprising. Void Terror getting away with the skin of his teeth. A lot of damage coming out of that Talia. Electrocute actually opted into as top lane trade.
Definitely Lollipop's very low here, not flashing just yet. Runs the kill the Meek. Flashes just about gets away from the Decimate.
And maybe if he saved the W then when he had the stacks on his... I actually can't remember what it is. But if he saved for the Empowered W, maybe he could have won that trade, blocked the shield. He couldn't really... Yeah, Fury, there we go. I'm a top laner, I don't even know.
Top laner, by the way. But yeah, the shield on that Mordekaiser was pretty obnoxious too. That looked like a 300 HP shield, so Renekton can't exactly trade through that as bot lane trade. Nothing much to really be had down here.
But Infernal Drake has just spawned, and both teams have vision around the objective. And Gecko pathing towards his Grump, so he will be towards that bot side. Can have pressure around the objective if he maybe gets purchased in this bottom lane, gets priority around there.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what Marwa's actually doing right now on the top side of the map without having reset or taken Krogs. Was down there to take the Skull Crab, so a little bit lost on that one, but is gonna get his reset now. Have a Chilling Smite and an Amplifying Tone.
At least just going to clear out the ward there, move up and get vision cover for the dragon. Maybe if they want to try it, they do have the crab vision still in there if they spot it out, but they are moving towards mid lane as well.
Hero feels that they're going to be there, doesn't land the cocoon, will manage to get away with the Umbral Dash. Good rotation, but didn't get anything for it.
Yeah, good attempt there from Absolved. Hero does manage to dash out with the Umbral Dash, so no kill gonna be threatened. And farming just resumes in the mid lane.
It's our favorite mechanic, farming.
At least spotted out on that ward there. We may see a 2v2 coming in there on the top side. But
yeah, throws out the threaded volley, gets a little bit of damage. Gecko nearby, but doesn't have a lot of mana to really respond to this, so not really gonna happen. Just gonna walk through that tri-brush as we look towards the bottom side. Can he land a Bone Skewer? Answer will be a no, but clear away the wave instead.
But yeah, repeating the point, I'm really not too sure why Mao was investing so much time onto the top side of this map. Granted, Wufo did blow Death by Lollipop's flash, so maybe a little bit of want to try and snowball a bigger lead out of this lane, but 2v2 is just really not going to be in their favor more often than not. So it is very, very risky for him to be around.
I'm surprised it's not...
And they already burned the flash from Voiter. So.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not more around this mid lane trying to pick off the Cinder. It's a much easier lane to gank, especially when you have Aatrox that's able to go in there with the ultimate, pop off a lot of damage.
Yeah, most definitely. Aatrox is capable of punishing those ranged mages if he does get into range of his damage.
Rakan's in the middle lane. We'll try and go in with the grand entrance. Won't be able to land anything, but in the top side, Wufo in a lot of trouble. Uses the Death Realm, because of bring Death by Lollipops there. One more Obliterate will be able to take him down. Sustains himself a little bit, just teasing him. Gonna maybe go down, flash away.
Oh.
He danced, I think, there, just to tease him, be like, I have this kill secured, but he just dealt more damage back to them than he was expecting, and he had to flash away.
One more auto attack from either side would have clinched that.
Yeah, and Wufo just feeling himself a little bit too much there. A little bit
cocky, very cocky.
Yeah, felt like he'd secured that kill, but does actually miss out on the Q there, and doesn't actually finish it up. So that's definitely going to be a big blow to this top lane. I'm not too sure on the scaling and how it would work on a side lane. We'll have to wait and see how it does play out. I would expect Maud to actually have a pretty successful time.
Yeah, you pick the Renekton to be able to have the early pressure in the lane and be able to get rid of the shield from Mordekaiser. That still will be there for the Renekton when it gets to the later stages of the game. But once Mordekaiser picks up, yeah, he's going for the what's it called? Mask burns HP damage. Haunting
guys, then Leandru's Taunt.
Leandru's Taunt. He's going to pick up the Leandru's Taunt, and that's going to be really good into this matchup. Renekton builds a lot of HP within his kit, and he's going to be able to scale really well with that.
Yeah, so definitely optimal build coming out from Wufo. And so far, you can maybe call this a win for LionsCreed. The solo laners not actually being too threatened by the Elise pick with these really powerful solo lanes that I might have spoken too soon.
Speaking of threatened, Mawa is also there, but Wufo should be going down, has the shield from his W, but has to repel away Death by Lollipops. Not feeling that he can go in on this, but Mawa still hunting with the threaded volley. Not be able to get anything towards this top side. Both junglers just feeling each other out. They know exactly where to counter gank.
Yeah, nobody feels like dying to jungle gambles in this game.
I thought the Ezreal ulti may have clinched it, but never mind.
I thought he was going to get killed there because Death from Below is available for Buzzy. Will not be able to land the Q just to get the pullback. It's very back and forth across all sides of this map, and no one's gone down yet, but Absolved are the ones ahead in gold. Yeah, flashes forward, gets the stun, slice and dice comes through as well. Mawa forced to flash away, almost went down. Hero is also there, but in comes Gecko off to the side. Definitely Lollipop should be going down here. Will sustain a huge amount in this fight, but first blood goes to Hero.
And yeah, Hero just first of the rotation there. Void Terror nowhere to be seen, pretty much still in the mid lane by the time Hero arrives in the top side. And Hero just on cleanup duty, picks up Death by Lollipops.
Yeah, it took us about 10 minutes to get that first. Oh, and then another one falls.
And to the Death Realm, out comes the hand. Gecko flash underneath the safety of the tower. Can he survive? Doing a lot of damage. Rufo should be going down as well. Gotta trade 1-for-1.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, 10 minutes to get the first blood, and it didn't go to the side of Absolved as we would expect with the Renekton Elise, but they've managed to pick themselves up a couple of kills here onto the Syndra and the Elise to even things up a little bit more in their favor.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, that shield on Mordekaiser W is absolutely absurd.
Yeah,
it's
horrible.
huge. It's huge. That's why I was surprised, because they picked Mord into Renekton, didn't they?
Yeah, so
I'm really surprised they would do that. I thought Renekton's a pretty good counter into it just because of the shield breaker and how much damage you can mitigate on him.
Let's see if you can play around that shield breaker passive though.
Yeah, true.
So far he hasn't been doing that.
He hasn't actually used it once, no. Maybe he just... I mean, I did play a solo queue game the other day against it as a Renekton into the Mord, and I did just completely forget about it.
It's really new, to be fair, but I think it's worth mentioning at this point that LionsCreed and Absolved are both sitting at 1 and 2, and that Absolved's only win, as we mentioned earlier, was because of a DQ. It was an FF because NSG couldn't field a full roster due to a power cut or the like, so they haven't yet popped their first Nexus in the league, and they're looking to get their first actual win.
Yeah, LionsCreed, they'll be wanting to move into the playoffs with these changes that they've made, but they need to be smashing teams like Absolve. They haven't claimed a real win yet in the tournament, so these kind of teams should be run over pretty easily by a team like LionsCreed.
yeah, exactly, and just off screen as well, Gecko actually managed to sneak himself away the Infernal Dragon. Fuyu and Rescue actually forced KZ and Buzzy out of lane. So Gecko, using his time efficiently, knows there's not really going to be much of a response on the bottom side of the map, picks it up for his team.
A lot of trading again on this top side, but I like that you mentioned the Feral Drake being snuck away by Gecko, because I like the scaling for it with Void Terror and with Fuyu.
Yeah,
Those two in the late game are going to be dominating.
Yeah, and I mean, all of these champions here utilize Infernal Dragon extremely well, particularly the Syndra. Looking to pretty much kill anybody that she can get stunned up.
Yeah. There were some nerfs towards the Ezreal AP scaling though, so it's not going to benefit him as much as it would like, but we see top lane going in there.
Wufo is dead.
Wufo will take him to the Shadow Realm. Actually, he doesn't.
Death Realm. Wait a minute.
Eventually does. Death by Lollipops will eventually go down. Wufo flashes away, but he will go down to Gecko there. And I thought he was going to pop that Shadow Realm so much sooner, or Nether Realm, whatever you want to call it. The Void Terror is the target in the middle lane. Now comes the Predated Volley. Will he be able to sustain himself a little bit longer? He will eventually go down, and Hero pops the ult just to be able to get out of dodge.
And Hero there missed just about every sweet spot on the Dark lane. It's fine, buddy.
I didn't mention it. I wasn't going to do him like that. So.
But
and then you just hang him out to dry.
I mean, hey man. I gotta do people like that sometimes. But yeah, there's just enough damage to really cut through Void Terror. No flash on a Syndra, so Scour of the Week isn't available. It's just a free target to take from under the tower.
And it hasn't reached that just pop the ult and decimate everyone's health bar, or one person's health bar, I should say, the sort of power spike just yet. Doesn't even have the Luden's Echo completed, but they're going to go all in on this middle lane.
Yeah, I think actually this TP here is to force a rotation over to Rift Herald. You see them moving over and securing a little bit of vision now. Fuyu doesn't actually have TP, but he's pushing in the wave, so he could also rotate up if he so feels like it. But 4-man on the Herald right now.
Is
and
it
TP
worth
from KZ committed bot?
Yeah,
so...
is it worth the TP? Because it's going to be a post 14-minute Rift Herald.
Huh. A little bit
They're not going to
confused.
get any turret plating for it, and they're going to have to be contesting this as well, as Mawa will just go down and Death by Lollipops. He's in a lot of trouble here. Hero off to the side, Gecko. Wufo is just going to obliterate him, quite literally. And Gecko is going to go down as well. Was it worth it? I think no.
I'm pretty lost.
Yeah, who got the Herald? What happened?
Yeah, so in the madness, Gecko is the one that manages to secure the Herald of the Smite. So Absolved gonna be the one to be able to put that down within the next 4 minutes.
Renekton in a really odd spot right now with his build, especially going into that fight. He didn't have the Kindle gem. He is itemizing towards that Spear of Shojin, but during that fight he was extremely squishy. You saw him go down extremely quickly and didn't really manage to do anything.
Yeah. Well, Strange Fire aside, Absolved are the ones that take the Rift Herald away, so
But
we'll see how they use it.
they committed 2 teleports for it. And sorry, they committed 1 teleport for it, and they committed 3 lives for 1. Yes, they got the Rift Herald, but it's post 14 minutes, as I mentioned already, so they're not going to get tower plating for it. So again, do I ask you, is it worth to pick it up? You might be able to get an objective with it, or get a lot of damage down onto objective with it, but you're not really going to get a huge amount for it.
So I'm going to be pressed to say yes if they can use the Herald to actually take away the mid lane tower, the mid tier 1. Taking away that tower is going to definitely give Absolved a lot more freedom to move in and around the west side quadrant blue buff. So champions like Syndra, Elise, these are scary champions to face check. So if they can actually use that Herald to take down that mid tier 1 and get a little more control into that Baron entrance, then I think they're pretty happy with the pickup.
I have to see if they can actually secure that tier 1 in the middle lane, because a lot of teams that we see trying to utilize their Rift Herald, they will get a lot of damage down onto the tower, but they don't manage to secure the tower because you have the rotations from the rest of the enemy team to come over and make sure that Shelly just gets killed as quickly as possible. So I'm not sure if they will actually be able to secure the entirety of one of the tier 1 towers in one go.
Yeah, might be a case that they just wait, hold on it, pop it when the dragon comes up, and then use that as a bit of a distraction to go in there, take the dragon almost for free, just make it so that LionsCreed don't really have an option to go to, and they lose either way.
Yeah. Of the tier 1 towers that LionsCreed still have, mid lane, I believe, relatively full HP. Hero did actually in the end, didn't really get pressured too hard by that Syndra. Whereas the bottom tier 1 definitely, I believe, sub 2000 HP, but I feel it would be a waste for Absolved to drop the Herald down there, so more likely to just use it after a potential team fight, or more likely towards that mid lane.
Gecko is pathing down towards his blue buff direction on that eastern side quadrant of the jungle, so might decide to go towards that bottom side and place it down there, like you said. Is a minute and a half until the next Drake. That will be a mountain Drake, so can do exactly what Governor said as well, and use that Drake as a little bit of a distraction, or use the Rift Herald, I should say, as a little bit of a distraction while they do the Drake.
Yeah, definitely a potential avenue for use. I would still like to see it dropped mid, even if that is the case, being used as a distraction. There's nowhere else optimally for them to actually use it, I believe. They will eventually chip away and get that bottom tier 1, and even then the tower's not really too important at this stage in the game, as I believe
we're back in.
Yes.
And we can finally stop listening to the sweeping lens going around.
I managed to mute that for the stream so they didn't have to put up with the pain that we did.
I was starting to go a little insane, guys.
It's like, yeah, it was
I had the chat up on my other
fun.
screen, so I didn't want to just see ear rape on the side of it.
Yeah.
Well, to my dismay, Gecko does drop the Rift Herald bottom to secure the tower.
It's still a good amount of gold for them to pick up. It's a shame it's not on a better tower, and it's a shame they don't manage to use it to pick up the dragon as well.
Yep, I mean, if
or
they're
any
playing a
tower
local
planning.
game-
Knocked back. Will he manage to find the kill? The answer will be a resounding no. Rescue picks up that kill. What goes up must come down. Flash away. Will manage to get out.
Yeah, and Mala thinks he's the one that finds the pick, but he is the one being picked. And dies, doesn't even get the chance to commit flash to a potential escape.
And then in the top side, Death by Lollipops is just being beaten around, and Wufo's just doing what he wants. Even though he's behind by 3 CS, he'll pick that up in this wave. He's ahead by 3 kills. He's died 1 time less. He's up by a level. He's just feeling good in this lane.
Yeah, I mean, Wufo under no real threat, to be totally honest. Even if 2 or 3 members come and approach him, he can just take someone, yeah. Just snatches somebody into the realm.
99% of the time, he'll get a 1-for-1.
Yeah, exactly. He probably will murder whoever he brings to that realm. So
Renekton has picked up the Spear of Shojin now, but even then, I think it's still very difficult for the Renekton to take it to that Mordekaiser. I don't see him winning in that, even if he gets a really good ulti off. He manages to pop a lot of damage in.
Yeah, so I mean, at best, Wolfer has to be a little more diligent with how he uses his cooldowns, but I'm pretty sure he's still pretty comfortable dealing with 2 or 3 members at this point in the game.
He has his Mercury Treads as well, just to deal with any roams from Gecko or Void Terror, and also to lessen the amount of CC that will be coming out from any of them. The time on that will be quite a decent amount shorter. And now Absolved are onto this Drake, so will there be a contest?
Yeah, a lot of early vision placed down, and mid lane priority from Absolved to try and start this one up. Skullcrab is actually LionsCreed though, so they will have full knowledge of when it's being started up.
They gotta keep it leashed.
Keeping
I
it
think they're
leashed
just going to try and go for the mid turret. But the
yeah,
Renekton is there to
trade,
clear.
but they are rotating. Gonna be a little late.
Yeah, they're rotating, but they're not actually gonna look for anything there. They can go for this mid lane turret, as you just mentioned, and we have Hero in that bottom side as well. Will be responded to by a Void Terror. Not gonna get anything for this. The Mountain Drake was picked up by Absolved, so they're sitting pretty at 1,000 gold ahead. They have 2 Drakes sitting in their pockets as well, so they're feeling good. And they're looking for a pick. Force to flash out Mawa. Easy peasy.
Yeah, I mean, Mawa's just so squishy, he's got to respect the fact that Death by Lollipops could just flash on him and stun him up, and there will be follow-up to kill him. So Mawa's gonna have to watch his back walking around now. It's just seeing vision cleared around mid lane, nothing too exciting. And Absolved probably gonna just look to try and get some chip damage on this mid tower.
A decent enough amount of wave clear, not as good as it would have been post nerf from Pyke, but still managing to deter the push, the siege from Absolved, and will keep their tier 1 tower in the middle lane alive for the time being.
Yeah, the longer that LionsCreed can keep their tier 1 alive, the better for them. They really do not want to have to face the prospect of having to walk into their blue side jungle and not have any control. Again, face checking a champion like Elise and Syndra, and how even Rakan is just incredibly scary. People will die if they face check. There is no real champion on this team that can really deal with it, except for maybe Wufo if he doesn't initially get CC'd and can pull out the Death Realm fast enough. But Wufo more likely to be on a side lane, so...
You can always use his Death's Grasp just to try and pull someone out of a bush instead of trying to face check. I think that would be a good way of doing it, but even then, it would burn a cooldown for him if he wants to try and use that to kind of guarantee a landing of his Q, of his Obliterate.
Yeah, and one thing to definitely note also on this LionsCreed draft, there's not a lot of innate hard engage. No real true go button on the side of LionsCreed here, so
I think that's fine though. I think the team scales up well enough that they will still be fine and be able to win fights even if they can't engage them. If a fight does occur out in an objective, I think they will still be able to take it in 20 or so minutes. The gold lead for Absolved is just in the Ezreal at the moment. It's about a K lead. Oh no, 2K lead on him to be fair. And that's the only real lead they have when they get into the late game. But I think that LionsCreed will still be able to hold things out.
Yeah, I mean, LionsCreed still pretty okay with how the game state is right now. Only a 1,000 gold lead between the two teams, so nothing to really complain about. As more mid-lane waves just get cleared away. That's exactly what the Karma's here to do. And talk about lane assignments for a second. Renekton is still being kept into the... Oh wait, no, I'm stupid. Renekton is now into Matrix as he's seeing an engaged bot lane.
Wufo will take the Rakan to the Death Realm. Should be able to take him down. Actually, a nice flash away. Just going to burn the timer. Will manage to get away there. Sinks in the fangs onto Wufo. He should be going down. Flashes over the wall. Will manage to get to safety. In comes the repel. Will not manage to get over the wall though. Wufo will manage to get out safe. Get to the safety of his team.
Yeah, well kited by Rescue there, and Wufo, although...
Ooh.
He caught out once again. Flash forward from Gecko was not needed. Just gonna be taken down by Void Terror. That's a nice ultimate.
Just as we was about to praise him for getting out.
Yeah.
That one.
It went out, went straight back in.
We talked about the 1v3 for the Mordekaiser. I don't think it went as well as he thought he maybe could have. He didn't even manage to get the kill. The Rakan a bit too slippery for him.
I mean, if we are thinking about it, he does actually blow the flash of the Rakan, and that's a pretty important cooldown for Rakan to not have. Definitely lessens the amount of opportunities that he can find to engage. And
he
even Gecko.
Gecko's flash.
Yeah, Gecko even on the back end of the play is flashing to secure the kill. So 2 flashes for 1, a lot of time sort of invested into it. And the LionsCreed have complete control of their jungle at the moment. So with the next Infernal Dragon coming up in around 30 seconds from now, that's actually not too bad for them. I think they can be happy.
It's definitely going to be really important from either team. Expecting for LionsCreed to go contest this, try and establish their own vision around that objective, and they are being pinged out on the side of Absolved, I should say. That they want to definitely secure this objective, make sure that they can't get any advantage over to LionsCreed.
Yeah, but LionsCreed right now are the first to rotate back into the river just before the dragon spawns, so they're going to be the ones forcing face checks out from the side of Absolved. I'm just clearing away vision, so now with one last control ward being cleared away in the dragon pit right now, Absolved don't really have too much vision in this river.
They really do not, and it's just a waiting game almost here. They're just waiting for someone to engage, and Rescue is looking for the engage himself. Out comes the Unravel to Earth, goes golden just to buy a little bit of time. Out comes the Charm onto KZ, and flashes forward by Lollipops. Finds the stun, but doesn't find the kill. KZ flashes over the wall. Rufo is now in no man's land. Will take Gecko to the Nether Realm. Will he have enough damage to secure the kill? But on the other side, definitely Lollipop's doing so much work, so much damage. Keeps going forward. Hero flashes forward, finds a kill, looking for a second. Fuyu, do you have enough? You seem to. Picks up the double kill, finds another kill as well. The ace comes through for Absolved.
Yeah, loads of slick mechanics coming out there. Hero manages to find the Darkin Blade flash for the reset. Unfortunately, not on previous patch Aatrox, so not going to find the revive to carry on the fight. But yeah, Absolved coming out on top, getting the Infernal. Definitely not what you would have expected, granted the setup around it for LionsCreed. So,
no, and they extend the gold lead even further. It's now 5k. They've picked up 2 Infernals and a Mountain. It's looking really, really strong from the side of Absolved now. They're going to hold out a little bit more. And pointing on the no engage point as well, with no AD carry, they are going to find it really difficult to be able to siege towers from LionsCreed if they do get to that point as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's kind of even hard for them to 5v5 optimally. So far, anything close to a 5v5, like the last 5 we just saw, is pretty scattered. A lot of the strength right now and the gold is in these 2 solo laners. So...
I think if you play 1-3-1 and have the Talia within the mid lane being able to move freely between the lanes, I think that's an avenue for LionsCreed to be able to win the game. If they recognize that and try and push it through those advantages, then
right now that is exactly what they need to do. I think they just need to force the 1-3-1. Karma and Talia are more than happy just sitting mid and clearing waves. Is going to be a little safer doing it under the tier 2, but they have lost the tier 1, so now whenever vision starts to get a little lackluster around the Baron, they're going to have to be forced to face check eventually. And
Hero very far up. He's not been. He manages to sneak past them.
Walk away.
Hold on a minute.
He's actually just walking through mid. Absolved none the wiser. And he's going to go for a dive.
Boggling. He is in the back. Will manage to get over the wall with the E, but they're going to take the tier 1 tower, and look at the damage coming out from Void Terror. They should take this fight. Out comes the death from below. We'll find 1 for 1. Finds another kill with the ult from Void Terror. Let's go down the side of Echo. We'll take him to a death realm.
This is sad.
Ufo.
Yeah, we get enough in the chat.
And... that's sad. Ufo 1 HP in the death realm. Can't really walk up to Syndra. Syndra has flash.
4 for 2.
Yeah, 4 for 2.
Not looking good.
Is the end score for that fight. And it kind of did look promising at first.
Yeah, it looked like a really good roam and a really good flank, but it just doesn't work out under the tower. Really good combo from Void Terror to go in and get them really, really low. And then they just followed in with the Rakan to manage on to finishing the fight.
Yeah, well, looks like a pretty sneaky rotation after slipping past 3 members trying to catch our hero. ends up behind that tier 1, but the scat of the week coming from Void Terror, locking up, I think it was 2 people, and almost pretty much taking them completely out of the fight, down to around 200, 300 HP. Absolute godsend for that fight, and Res Q doesn't really need any Q really, just goes in, finds the engage, and Absolved take away 4 kills.
The Baron is up now, so they will look towards to go to it, set up vision for it. They have a huge advantage at the moment, so they will look to try and take that from the side of LionsCreed and maybe press up and take a few more towers with them.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not quite sure what to say right now. As more mid waves get farmed, intense gameplay. But
I think it's just easier from Absolved to actually execute their team comp, especially as you said already. They have no hard engage, so they're just waiting for Buzzy or someone to just go straight in. And
yeah, and seeing it right now,
they're just gonna have to run away.
Karma Speed just carrying them out there. No pick to be had.
Yeah, and you spoke about difficulty of team composition. 1-3-1 is a pretty difficult one to learn, especially if you're a new team, amateur team. They've only just changed in the solo laners, a couple of weeks ago or whatever. It's a pretty difficult comp to fight against, and Absolved managing to take a decent early lead because of it.
Yeah, and certainly 1-3-1 comp. Not the easiest to execute, especially Hero and Wifo. Only been around 3 weeks now, so that's about as long as we can assume they've been playing together for. As Lollipop's taking a trade, it was alright.
So it's not the team comp that you kind of expected of LionsCreed.
Yeah, no. It is certainly something that you could maybe say plays into a style that they want to hit as Wifo.
Yeah, will not be cut out. Now he is. We'll land the cocoon. We'll land everything onto him pretty much, and we'll be secured by the untapped power.
Yeah, and this Baron's probably going to go to Absolve.
Yeah, without Mordekaiser and without Aatrox, that's where all of their gold is at the moment. There's no chance they can challenge that. They will move into it with the Talia wall.
Going with the Weaver's wall, but will flash away. He's onto him by the size of him shove now, knocking him away. Just gonna secure that kill. It's nothing you can do. Just tried for the clutch seal with the Weaver's wall, but couldn't manage it.
Yeah, and I guess if you're in Marwa's position, you probably have to try and do something there. Hero probably not comfortable committing a TP into complete blindness, so
I don't think they would have won
even
even with it.
Yeah, to be totally honest. TP probably wouldn't have done much. As Death by Lollipop's just playing a little game. Takes a really big trade, almost.
Pop the Dominus as well as the World Ender. Now manages to get over the wall. That was really nicely done by Death by Lollipops.
Nice escape, but he does
stop
need
him
to
from
back.
backing. Yeah, he's stopping him from backing, so they're onto this tier 3 tower. Gecko, obliterate to the face, flashes forward, gets the shield as well. Gecko should be going down here. He will. Void Terror now the target. He has a lot of sustain here with that shield, but will go down. The untapped power doing so much work with 2.5 items. And he's 7-1. Will get this inhib. Tower will not manage to get the inhib just yet, but they get a tier 2 in the top side as well.
Yeah, so successfully break the base. You can call that a pretty good siege if you're Absolved. You're happy with that. Can just take the reset right now.
Yeah, I think it was good from Wufo as well, though, to be able to stop them from pressing even further and maybe taking the inhib to go and make sure he can trade, get a life out of it.
Yep, if Wufo doesn't sort of suicide bomber that one, he's definitely gonna lose the inhib, and that's gonna cause loads of problems for LionsCreed.
Well, the most important Drake, the Ocean Drake, is now up. So,
yes.
Tons of fighting gonna be had around that.
The famed open Drake. I'm happy it's on the Rift. Probably just gonna go over to Absolved and just...
It's not even worth contesting at this point. You want to be waiting until people are pressing on your base when you want to start sacrificing things.
Yeah, I mean, they can just take it as they rotate down to the bottom side right now. I don't think they'll lose too much tempo on it, as that's what's gonna happen.
Gonna get pinged out. They know they're starting off on this, but nothing they can do to really contest it. They couldn't contest the last 3 Drakes. Why contest this one?
Yeah, and I mean, Baron buff still on multiple members here, I believe, so definitely not really feeling a potential contest. And LionsCreed sort of just slowly rolling over here with an 8k gold deficit as ResQ playing with fire, but finds a grand entrance out.
He's playing with fire, but I don't think he really cares about being burned.
Yeah, no. definitely not too scared of fire right about now. Is the one with 2 Infernal Dragons, so he's used to it. He's alright.
Doing a lot of work here, down to just about half health on this inhib tower. Gecko, good siege in the middle lane as well.
Yep, split pushing jungler. You love to see it.
Ooh, that's nice, but we'll manage to Arcane Shift away, even though that's hand caught onto him as well as the Bone Skewer. And comes the Weaver's Wall now, and comes Redemption just to sustain them a little bit. They should be going down here, but Weaver's Wall will act as a barrier as well. TP will be coming in, and Death by Lollipops is tearing through the lane.
Oh!
Pushes in for the triple kill! That was beautiful! And Wufa will be going down as well. Hero will be going down as well. That will be the ace, and Absolved should be finishing right here, right now.
That was the meatiest Renekton Q I've ever seen.
Cull the meek, culling the weak.
Oh!
LionsCreed's just too far behind. Can't really deal with the Renekton in the backline, and are gonna drop to Absolved, and that's what I'll definitely call an upset if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, no, this makes things really interesting now, especially when you look at the middle of the table. I mean, we now have that actually no, that takes Absolved now with the DQ as well to 2-2, so they're actually starting to break into that playoff position now as well.
Starting to look pretty decent, even though that was their first Nexus that they actually managed to blow up. And they now move to 2-2, as you said, and LionsCreed moved to 1-3. So they're not looking too good for a team that we thought might be in that top 4 position.
Yeah, and definitely a surprising result. I think almost unanimously, everybody thought that LionsCreed would be the one to take the W in this game.
Yeah,
So who are we giving our MVP to?
Oh, I think it's really difficult to call, to be honest. I think that Void Terror was really crucial within the team fights and pumped out a huge amount of damage to back it up with. And Death by Lollipops had a good redemption at the end with his Quadra kill. Fuyu, I think, had a good game as well. He stayed very safe. I'd maybe give it to Void Terror. What do you think, Jamada?
Yeah, probably if I'm picking out of anybody. Death by Lollipops had a really rough time early on, and Void Terror kind of just held his own, despite all of the pressure he was under, especially Aatrox picking up a lot of early gold. But still, didn't really fall too far behind and consistently found Scatter the Weeks to help his team out in what were pretty scattered 5v5s.
Yeah,
so,
to say the least.
To say the least. So yeah, I'll probably give that one over to Void Terror. It's a shame because Wufo did have a pretty entertaining performance on
he did
on the Mordekaiser.
But he didn't win, so he doesn't get MVP.
Unlucky. I don't think I'd give it to him anyway with the 8 deaths, but we'll cut to a quick break now, and when we're back, we'll have NSG versus Viperia. Catch us then.